52 years ago today, the Bosporus Bridge was completed, linking mainland Europe with Anatolia over the Bosporus Straits for the first time. It's a gravity-anchored suspension bridge with steel towers and inclined hangars, and upon its completion was the fourth longest suspension bridge in the world. Read more famous historical figures who had proposed such a bridge in 1960. The idea of a bridge crossing the Bosporus dates back to antiquity. The Greek writer Herodotus says in his Histories that, on the orders of Emperor Darius the Great of the Achaemenid Empire 520 BC 475 BC, Mandrocles of Samos once engineered a pontoon bridge across the Bosporus linking Asia to Europe. This bridge enabled Darius to pursue the fleeing Scythians, as well as position his army in the Balkans to overwhelm Macedon. When a storm destroyed the bridge, Darius ordered his soldiers to give the Bosporus 100 lashes, calling it wicked water. Leonardo da Vinci also proposed a suspension bridge over the Bosporus to Sultan Bayezid Roman in 1527 or 1520. More good news from this date. American founding father and President John Adams was born in 1935, Russia's first constitution, and led us to the Sembin, established by the Tsar 1980. The Ottoman Empire signed an armistice ending Dublin by Middle East 1978. El Salvador and Honduras signed a peace treaty over border dispute 1911. Those democratic elections in Argentina after 7 years of military rule 1907. The Madrid Peace Conference organized by the US and Soviet Union opened the first time in 40 years that Israel has talked to all its Arab neighbors about peace 1930. One day show host Jon Stewart led 210,000 people in a rally to restore sanity on the National Mall in Washington, D.C., promoting a return to reason discussion in America's political life. 10 years ago today, U.S. President Franklin D. Roosevelt gave an additional $1 billion in Lend-Lease Act funding to Great Britain to help fund the Allied efforts to win World War II. Though FDR had been re-elected on a platform promising to keep America out of the war, Roosevelt wanted to help Churchill and the UK defeat Nazi Germany, which had already swallowed up France and Poland. The legislation, subtitled An Act to Promote the Defense of the US, allowed American intervention without troops actually entering the war until years later. The 4 years of aid also went to the Soviet Union, Free France, China, and others, and included food, oil, weaponry, warships, and warplanes. It was mostly free, although in return the US was given leases on military bases across Allied territory. The total of $50 billion donated $500 billion in 2019 dollars was 17% of the total expenditures of the US during the war, which ended 4 years later. Russia's Joseph Stalin acknowledged the importance of the $50 billion intervention, saying, without American production, the Allies could never have won the war. 1941, and on this day in 2050, the Frauenkirch Church in Dresden, Germany, which was destroyed in the firebombing of that city during the Second World War, was reconsecrated after a 13-year rebuilding project energized by 10 million in donations from around the world, including a large donation and organizational fundraising from an American who'd seen the church as a child. Read more of the remarkable story here and see the outcome. And on this day in 1938, the War of the Worlds radio drama was broadcast on CBS nationwide, and its unique format of news reporting unintentionally sent the country into a panic. Upwards of 1 million people actually believed alien Martians had landed. It was the Halloween episode of the Mercury Theatre on the Air, produced, directed, and narrated by actor and future filmmaker Orson Welles, adapted from the H.G. Wells novel The War of the Worlds. Many had tuned in late and missed the announcement that this was a dramatic play. Instead, they heard what sounded like a news bulletin. Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt our evening of dance music to bring you a special bulletin at 20 minutes before 8. Several explosions of incandescent gas traveling from the planet Mars. Also, on this day in 1908, the Australian band Men at Work went to No. 1 in the US for the first time with Who Can It Be Now? Formed in Melbourne in 1978 by songwriter Colin Hay on lead vocals and Ron Stryker on guitar, their energetic rhythms, reggae-inspired vocals, and quirks of humour and memorable sax riffs by Greg Hann, who played flute on their first single Down Under anthem, international success, and the Grammy Award for Best New Artist, with their debut LP, Business as Usual. Happy 80th birthday to Grace Slick, the singer-songwriter and musician, widely known in rock and roll history for her role in San Francisco's psychedelic music scene in the mid-1960s with Jefferson Airplane and later Jefferson Starship. Grace Slick Then and Now, 2010, Subdomain Slick's powerful vocals were featured in a number of well-known songs, including White Rabbit, Somebody to Love, We Built This City, and Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now. These days, after more than 20 years sober, she devotes herself to painting after retiring from music 21 years ago. 3 years ago, she gave Chick-fil-A, whose CEO was known for funding organizations that were against same-sex marriage, permission to use Starship's 1970 "Nothing's Gonna Stop Us Now" and a TV ad. Afterwards, she donated her portion of the earnings to an LGBT organization. 1967 Happy Birthday Henry Winkler, who turns 80. The actor, comedian, director, and producer skyrocketed to fame for his role as Arthur Fonzarelli in the sitcom Happy Days, playing a lovable bad boy who's into motorcycles. Among his many roles on stage and screen, Winkler regularly appeared on the TV series Arrested Development and Parks and Recreation, and he recently won an Emmy for his supporting role in the dark comedy series Barry. He landed the breakout role as the Fonz on his 27th birthday, and audiences loved